Conversation I overheard about 5 years ago between two teenage girls on a bus, right? I'm sitting behind them and they're discussing what celebrities they would sleep with, right? And at first they're doing obvious ones like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Channing Tatum. And I didn't think the conversation was very interesting, so I was about to zone out. And then one of them mentioned Nelson Mandela, right? And I wasn't going to leave that conversation alone. Because I've never heard the question, Stacey, would you shag Nelson Mandela? Right? Never heard that before. I didn't think I was going to get to hear it again, so I thought I'm listening to this. And to be fair to Stacey, she thought about it. She goes, thought a firework was going off at first. And she goes, no! And I was fine with that. If she didn't want to shag Nelson Mandela, no one was going to force us to do so, right? But she felt the need to justify her decision. And that's the thing I had a problem with, because she said, no, I wouldn't shag Nelson Mandela, because my ex-boyfriend had been in prison, and he was a fucking dickhead. I'm pretty sure they were in prison for different reasons, right? There's a big difference between fighting apartheid and petrol bombing your nan's house. I don't think they're similar things, right? And I told that story for a number of years on the comedy circuit. I told it for a number of years. And then one time I was doing a gig at HotWaterComedyClub, not when it was in here, this brilliant new venue. It used to be in a pub called The Crown, right? Shh, people talking, shut up. That's how I deal with hecklers. Shut up. Doing a gig in a pub called The Crown Hotel. I did that joke, and after the gig, this girl comes up to me, smashed out of her head, right? She smelt like Warrington. She was fucked, right? She comes up and goes, I really enjoyed your set, right? But I've just got one quick question for you. I said, okay, what is it? She said, you know Nelson Mandela? I said, yeah. She said, is it Man City he plays for? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't really know how you've managed to enjoy me set without knowing that piece of information. But no, he doesn't. Who do you think he is? She goes, the guy who let a firework off in his bathroom, right? And at the time, Mario Balotelli played for Manchester City. So I was like, you don't think it's Mario Balotelli, do you? And she said, do you know what? I'm always getting them two mixed up. Now, there's so many problems with that sentence. The main one being the word fucking always, okay? Because that means this is not the first time, this is a regular occurrence. I thought I'm going to have to educate this girl so she doesn't make this mistake again, right? So I gave her all the information, said Nelson Mandela innocently fighting apartheid in South Africa, got put in prison for nearly 30 years, 27 years it was, 27 years in prison, and he suffered, and that's what he did. And I thought, right, I've given her a history lecture. I can't leave this conversation with a history lecture at a comedy club. I'm going to have to make a little joke. And I come up with something off the top of my head, and it wasn't the best joke I've ever thought of, but it's all I had at the time, right? So I said, I don't think Nelson Mandela was quite as good at football as Mario Balotelli is. And I thought, job done, I'm going to walk away. And she stopped me. And to be fair to her, she gave me a really good point, because she said, actually, how can you say that? Because if he was in prison for 30 years, how the fuck do you know how good he was at football?